They want you to end it. They want you to give up. And you must not give them what they want. This is Yasira, spiritual samurai. You know, I don't call myself the spiritual samurai for nothing. There's a reason why I've earned that title. And although you may not know who I am, I know that I have a lot to share with you all. And I come on here to basically provide you with the spiritual fuel to keep you going. Because I know that being in this world, honestly, being in this world, born to generational curses that seem very impossible to break, or you have generational curse upon curse upon curse. You break one, but you still got more to go. And it becomes very exhausting. And in the process of you doing this, you have people that want to attack you financially out of jealousy, not realizing that you come from rock bottom. You didn't come from money. So they're trying to destroy you because they're jealous of your abilities, your gifts, your looks, whatever the case is. They might be jealous of your spiritual ranking because some of these people, they're tapped in, but they're tapped in through the darkness. And they want to eradicate the light. And they pretend to follow Jesus, but really, just like the good book says, they praise me with their lips, but their heart is far from it. And there's a lot of people like that we would like to call the covert religious narcissists. And these type of people are the modern day Pharisees that push more people away from God than they actually bring them to. We live in a very, very fucked up world that causes the best people, the most amazing people to give up, causes people to break. I'm at a point right now where I think that life was designed to break us. Or I would say life is designed to be so, like, I don't want to say life was meant to break us, but that's what it seems like. Or at least it attempts to break us, because some of us have not been broken. And that may seem like a blessing, like, oh, you have not been broken. Do you know how much pain a person that has not been broken has to endure? Because they can put up a fight. They can endure so much to the point that it becomes extremely exhausting and you don't know what to do anymore. Because you're only a human being. And we could talk about, oh, well, connect with spiritual energy, and you'll have, at the end of the day, you're still a human being. You are in, your spirit is in a vessel, and the vessel has limits. And it's just, there's only so much you can take in this world. And this world, it does things to you that it's literally like a hamster wheel. Like, no matter how many curses you break, no matter how much you do, the fact that you have a moral compass makes everything harder, because this world does not reward people with morals. And that's the ultimate test of being on this physical realm, is how long can you go living by the code of integrity by the Most High in this godforsaken world? How long can you go before you end up breaking and you end up abiding by the Zimbardo effect? And the Zimbardo effect is basically a concept that explains and justifies how good people turn to the dark side, because of how much this world has broken them down, to the point that now their perspective of reality becomes skewed, and now they start to look at things through a darker lens, and they start to work for the devil, but they justify it by the pain that they've gone through. And I'm not going to say I don't understand that perspective, I don't agree with it, because I always like to look for an alternative path that will still keep me close to God. You see, I'm not the type to turn the other cheek, Oh, that's the Christian way. I'm not the type of person to tell you that, because sometimes you have to think about some strategy for the spiritual war. Right? This world is not about you. If you live your whole life just turning the other cheek, you're just gonna get smacked around in this world. There has to be a different way to handle this type of shit. And that's where the spiritual samurai come in. The concept of the spiritual samurai is somebody who has become skilled at combating spiritual warfare. You need to have a very powerful spirit to overcome all of this darkness that keeps growing within us, or attempts to. The devil tries to infiltrate our lives, and the more power we gain through our faith, which we have more faith, right? We see the fear is what keeps you stuck. By you not being afraid, you increase in faith. And in doing so, that's how you reclaim your power, because now you're on a higher vibration mentally and spiritually, and they can't break you the way that they would like. But that doesn't mean that my heart doesn't hurt for those who are still not there yet. There's a lot of good people out here that are suffering. A lot of injustices, unhealed traumas that they did not cause upon themselves, obviously. There's a lot of great, amazing people that have been abused by the soulless creatures of this earth, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to heal. Or maybe you tell them how to, but they just don't have the fuel to do so, because it's so fucking painful. How do we overcome this situation? Time heals. They hear all of the cliche sayings. They get to a point where they're tired of hearing Bible scriptures. They're tired of hearing this and that. They might not even want to hear the word Jesus. I was one of those people that didn't want anything to do with God. Don't quote me no scripture if you're not going to explain it to me or break it down. Because a lot of times when people quote scripture, it's just a way to make themselves feel like they're above you. They'll beat you down with well, I'm a Christian, and obviously you're going through what you're going through because you're not a Christian. You're not. That's not helping, and that's not true. Because a lot of these so-called Christians ain't even Christians either. The crazy part about this world is that there are some people that are so-called Satanists. Some Satanists are better Samaritans than some Christians. And that's fucked up. It ain't supposed to be like that. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what this video is about. This video is about trying to keep yourself in a good place mentally, to where you won't go crazy. This world will drive you crazy, because good works don't get rewarded in this realm. You literally have to move by faith. You do it to glorify God. You have to have a close relationship with the Most High in order to feel good about living an honorable life, because I'll tell you right now, this world will not reward you for living an honorable life. And then I really pray that it does. I really pray that for anyone that is working on their purpose and fulfilling their calling, I do pray for good things and blessings to come to those who are, living righteously and, living honorably and actually helping others and being of service to others out of genuine empathy. However, not many people are like that in this world. They're very rare. You see, there is no incentive to do the right thing in this society. And the best way to look at it is, Don't look for an incentive to do the right thing. You have to do it out of the duty that you have as a servant of God or as a child of God. And that's one of the hardest things to do in this world, because I understand why people give up. I do. I genuinely do understand, because we've seen some amazing people just give up. Some people give up on God. They give up on their life. Some people end up leaving the earth prematurely, and you know what that means. And some people will judge them and say, they'll say that they're going to hell for doing that. And it's like, you know what? I would rather pray for that person and hope that they're in a better place, in a place that's more peaceful, where they don't have to worry about these problems and all of the mental torment and anguish from all the psychological warfare and all the attacks that this world will give you. I realize the longer that I'm in this earth is not many people really understand my perspective. Most people will misunderstand what I'm saying. Most people might say, well, not most people, but some people might say, why do you call yourself the spiritual samurai? What's so special about you? Nothing. Nothing is special about me. But I will say that given all of the things that I've overcame, most of it on my own, through the help and through the grace of God, and the one man that he sent to me to be my husband, which I would say that's somebody that has helped me more than anybody on this earth. And him being a male figure, it means a lot to me, because I've been hurt by a lot of men in my life, in my early years, to the point that that's what gave me these traumas. That's what gave me PTSD. But I still had the ability to love a man and to be able to see my husband as a separate individual from those other, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to make him pay for the sins of the men before him, you see? Because I understood and saw that this is a different man. That man is sent by God. Absolutely. And I can tell the difference between a good man and a wicked man. That level of discernment is a gift from God, because I'm not supposed to see the difference. I'm supposed to be a toxic, psychotic bitch. But guess what? I decided to serve the Most High in the best way that I can. As the broken woman that I am, or what they claim. Because I'm not perfect and I'm not special. I call myself the spiritual samurai because I'm not supposed to be alive right now. Just like a lot of you who listen right now. You're not supposed to be alive either. I'm not the only one. I just happen to have a channel and I speak my mind. And it helps others. And those who don't like it, they can leave. It doesn't matter to me. If the message ain't for you, it ain't for you, and that's fine. But allow the message to bless those who have the ears to actually hear and listen and resonate with what I'm saying, because it's needed. So, I call myself the spiritual samurai because I've overcame things that were meant to put me out of this earth. I have gone through spiritual warfare, psychological warfare, SA trauma. A lot of crazy things have happened. I have witnessed supernatural occurrences that I cannot explain to you. And if I was to tell you every bit of detail, some people might think I'm crazy. So I keep it to myself, but I share a little bit. I've shared a few things in my channel, but I understand there's people that have gone through the same kind of thing, and it is a relief. And that's what I do. I speak to bring forth relief to those who have been through the same kind of thing. So, hey, you ain't going crazy. This world is just meant to break us, but we got to make sure that we are on top of things and that we don't allow it to destroy us, and that we learn to become powerful. Our job is to analyze the situation and be our own philosophers and independent thinkers. Consult to God, and wisdom comes to us and it pours into us. The closer we get to God, the more we increase in spiritual energy, the more powerful our spirit becomes, to the point that we want our presence to cause demons to flee. That's what happens when you are operating off of Christ consciousness and also the divine light of God. The Spirit of the Almighty living within you, shining through you. And when you live in a way that is of discipline, of integrity, basically spiritual samurai, when you live in that way, and no matter what goes on in this world, you still remain consistent, still remain solid and not moved by the evil of this world. You are your own leader. The only person that you answer to is the Most High God. You're not governed by man. You are a servant of God, basically. You're not beneath nobody. God is the only entity that is above me. And that's the type of mindset you should have, and never allow anybody to make you feel like you're beneath them, because no man is beneath anybody. But this world will make you feel that way because of your income level, your ethnicity, your gender, whatever the case is, right? They'll try to devalue you and make you feel like nothing, make you feel inferior. But you have to remain, consistent in your own in your own life, investing into yourself. And no matter what they say, no matter how they view you as, based on their little prejudice, they could be prejudiced all day. That doesn't change the truth about who you are and your spiritual identity and your connection with God, as well as your ancestry too. All of that put together. But most importantly, your direct connection with God is powerful. I'm telling you, we need it. I don't give a damn what they tell you. I don't give a damn what religion they claim. If they're treating you like shit, if they're corrupt, if they don't even live a life of discipline or integrity, or at least attempt to, you ain't got to worry about what they're talking about. Don't worry about no modern day Pharisee. Seek a direct connection with God for yourself. You have to experience God for yourself. That's where you get your power. But in order to really gain a significant amount of power, you gotta walk through it, man. You gotta walk through that path. And it's gonna be a lot of adversities. I've been through it myself. There's a lot of different experiences I've had, but I have seen it. The supernatural stuff, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. People hating you because you choose to do the right thing. Oh, how dare you be such a beautiful woman and you refuse to sleep with the manager to get a raise. Oh, yeah, forget about your intelligence. They don't care about that. But how many people actually allow that to get to them to where they feel like they're just going to compromise their morals for a little bit of money? Are you fucking kidding me? No integrity. This type of walk is not an easy one, because a lot of the spiritual samurai, they come from the rock bottom and they got to figure out how to build their way up by themselves. And this system is against people like us. It's a reason why they keep us down. And I ain't mad at it. I've got to the point where I'm not mad at the devil's system for keeping me down. And thanks to all the wonderful channels that I've been watching, liking, commenting, because they have given a lot of insight too, and they also are very validating to our journey and the way that we move in this life, and the fact that there are people like us out there. But most importantly, you should move the way you move, because that's what will glorify God. That's just who you are. And for a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand that, because a lot of people don't care about God. They don't like hearing stuff like this. But me, I don't know what it is, but I feel it coming out of being an agnostic atheist. I feel it in me to live a disciplined life like I'm in the military. That's just the type of person I am. I never want to allow anything in this earth to have control over me. That's where that comes from. The discipline comes from, and the integrity comes from the fact that I don't want anything on this earth to have power over me. And when you live a life with no integrity, no discipline, guess what? You've given away your power to other entities. And now the entities can take over your life and destroy it ultimately. You might think you're going through hell right now because it seems like your good works and and the good things that you're doing is not being rewarded. But see, that's why you don't do things to expect a reward. You do things to expect to gain power that comes through the virtue. There is power through virtue. The power is spiritual and it's very real. You know why? Because I have been blessed with a very sharp mind. I have been blessed with a lot of intelligence and creativity. And even though it may not be getting rewarded right now in the physical realm, I am getting rewarded spiritually, and I have been given the gift of true love, which I get from my husband. There's people with money who don't even have a loving husband or wife. You don't understand the value of that type of relationship until you don't have it and you see another person has it. That's why people are jealous. In my life, despite how broke I am, guess what? There's people that are jealous of the fact that I have this high IQ and in my creative projects that I've done. My writing, my poetry, the love that I've been blessed with, genuine love from a man that I never expected a man to love me. Can you believe that? But because I remain consistent in the path, the narrow one, because even when I didn't have this much knowledge, I knew that promiscuity is something that curses vessels. Promiscuity is something that destroys you slowly. I knew something was off about it. And despite all the challenges, I understood one thing that I learned about SA trauma is that I never want to have nobody have power over me like that. One thing I learned about being violated at a young age is that I never want anybody to have that much power over me. I never want to be that helpless. And you become helpless when you don't live a life of discipline and integrity. When you don't live a life of discipline and integrity, you lose all power. And then I realized that these virtues, these convictions that I feel very strongly about. I try to live by it. Why? Because I know it's going to make me more powerful. Because the last thing I want to ever be is in a position where I have no power. I've been in positions where a lot of things have been robbed from me, from my innocence to, everything, the love, the all of that. From a house being burned down, from my sanity damn near being robbed from me, my sense of peace, And again, my innocence. Yeah. I never want to be in that position where I don't have power over my own life. So why the fuck would I give in to promiscuity and, and also allowing somebody to manipulate me through sex? Because, oh, he looks so good. Oh, he's this and that. It's something about being essayed when you're a little girl several times, is that it makes you not really have an appetite for that kind of thing, man. And it's not that we don't like affection. I love affection. I'm very affectionate. But it's a difference between affection and abuse. Trust me, I know. I've seen the difference. And sometimes it does come laced with affection. You're right. Abuse can come laced with affection. And that's the type of thing that really disgusts me. But one thing that I love more than affection, and I love affection, but one thing I love more than affection is having power over my own life and having control of my own soul and mind. That means more to me than anything, because I never want to be in that position where I'm helpless and defenseless. I want to be on point. And if in order for me to maintain my sanity, in order for me to do that, if I have to put in a lot of work and exercise discipline, if I have to do all the things, if I have to, basically follow the commandments, and also following the dietary laws to maintain a clean temple and everything else in between, in order to ensure that I increase in spiritual energy and I become a powerful and empowered individual that cannot be destroyed by this world, then you better believe that I will be serving the Most High. The Most High has been feeding me. The Most High has been feeding a broken woman like me. The Most High blessed a broken woman like me with a husband that truly loves her. And I've had females, not all women, because I've met some great women, but I've had females that literally did not like the fact that I'm good to my man. We live in such a fucked up world that now being good to your significant other is now looked down upon. How dare you love your husband? How dare you love your wife? They'll call you a simp for loving your wife genuinely, even though she's a good woman. She's good to you. If you're with someone who's good to you, they deserve everything. You're with someone that was sent by God, they deserve royal treatment. And you got people that are so miserable that they will hate you for being good to your significant other. What a damn shame. But anyway, back to the video. I never want to allow anything to bring me down to that dark place, and that's what motivates me, and that's how I transmuted the dark energy from CPTSD. I transmuted the fuck out of these past traumas that leave me with a lot of intense nightmares and all the PTSD symptoms you could think of that I've had for years now, over a decade. Guess what? I transmuted that into something that now it is my fuel. It fuels me to live my life with discipline and integrity, because now I feel like I need to give back and show my gratitude to the Most High God, because He didn't have to do that for me, but He knew the type of heart that I have. I'm actually quite shocked that He would try to reach out to somebody who didn't believe in Him. Because I'm not a church girl, but I'm not a wicked person either. I have a good heart. I ain't gotta say that. But people that know me, they know that. It got to the point that the lies that the soulless and the narcissists have tried to say about me, it became hard to believe those lies because it does not align with the way that I walk and the way that I stand on this earth. When people see me and they look into my eyes, they know the type of person that I am. Because why? Because I make sure that I don't leave any stones unturned. I make sure that I exercise discipline and integrity so that the devil doesn't have shit on me. That way, the devil can't sit there and accuse me of some shit. And guess what happens? It gets to a point, when you get to this point, when you reach that level, that spiritual ranking of a spiritual samurai, you know what happens? If the devil can't accuse you of anything because, well, it's not like you've done much, right? You haven't done anything that is foul enough for him to point the fingers at you. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to fucking lie. He's going to lie on you. He's going to accuse you of some shit that you didn't do. He's going to try the Darvo method on you, which Darvo means deny. What is it? And then reverse victim, something like that. I can't remember the whole thing. But it's a tactic that narcissists use. And you know, the devil is like the ultimate narc. It's when they deny what you're saying, and then they'll reverse the victim, right? So basically, now they're the victim and you're the offender. Now I know D stands for deny. RVO is reverse victim offender. So basically now they're the victim and you're the offender. That's what they do to people like us. Since they can't, we didn't give them nothing. We didn't give the devil nothing to work with. That doesn't mean we're perfect. It just means that we have made sure that we don't get in too deep into this. You know what I mean? We don't get too deep into some stuff that a person could really say, well, you used to do this and all that stuff, like crazy stuff. Even though if you stop doing it and if you genuinely repent to the Most High, those sins or those major sins are pretty much erased, you know? And only God knows if you truly repent, so that's a whole nother thing. But when the devil doesn't have shit on you, you know what he does? He lies. And he'll slander. He'll come up with something. And that's what he does. So no matter how much integrity you have, they're going to always find a way to go against you, just like they did to Jesus, who is actually the only perfect man to walk the earth. And we follow in his footsteps. And even though, again, we're not perfect, but we don't have a heavy enough case for the devil to point his finger and accuse us of that. So they're gonna, it's gonna be false accusations, slander, because we're just too good to be true. Ain't no way. Well, guess what? The truth is that we do exist. We are the spiritual samurai. And what drives us to be who we are is our love for discipline, integrity, and wisdom. And when you have wisdom, there's no need to be dumb, because you know better. And when you know better, you'll do better. And I've said enough in this video. If you made it this far, I thank you for listening. I hope that this really encouraged you. Have a great day and take care of yourself. This has been Yasira, the spiritual samurai.